Renee Bays, Rakim John, 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 Renee Bays, Rakim.
Hello to you all out there. Welcome to I Like That. Where 4 trash bags of color come together to make some sense of the world. I'm just kidding. Welcome to Podcast of Color, where 4 trash bags of color come together to make some sense of the world.
Well, it's 3
what
tonight.
is our question of the week, Miss John?
Are we going to introduce ourselves?
Yeah.
We'll introduce ourselves as we do it. Bitch, John, what's the question?
Okay, I guess.
Oh, wait. I thought...
Yeah,
Okay,
we're
I'm Baze.
structure, bitch. Structure. We don't like change here.
I'm John.
I'm Rakim, and Renee is not here this week.
And they
And-
couldn't make it due to capitalism. I mean,
I
that's the
hate you
truth.
so much.
What did you say?
He said Renee can't make it due to capitalism.
I mean,
Renee
that's
is
what
currently is currently tied down by the capitalist infrastructure of this country and cannot be here today. But
I wish
he's
we
with
had
us in
a-
spirit.
You know how there's like a bat signal? I wish we had a Frenty dresser signal and then like...
For Renee, it would just be like a giant
An
24 that you
anti-capitalist
just light
signal.
up in the sky, and then like he sees that and like runs over to the gym. That's what it is.
Oh my god, stop.
Into
Anyways. Question.
Oh.
What is our question of color?
Sorry. Okay, so the question of color, this week,
Color.
would be, what is your favorite Disney Channel movie, and why? So, should I go first?
Go for it.
Okay. So, my favorite movie, I think it's called, I have 2, but I'll say one. It's Up, Up, and Away. And that's do you guys remember that? It's like the superhero movie with the black family. Like,
Oh, I forgot about that movie.
of course you did,
No.
because you're anti-black. And it's okay.
Okay.
Just say, hey, black people, move on. It's fine. And that movie was iconic because it was what?
I just think that, it's interesting because only one of us here has straightened their hair. And, done that whole situation. So.
But you're talking about the past and not the present, bitch. So
Okay.
you talking all that shit because you're in New York. But what you don't know is I'll whoop your ass on every side of the continent or country, bitch. Continent, ho.
Bitch. You from every continent in Africa?
No,
huh?
my hands are, bitch. Try it. As I thought.
Anyway.
No, as I thought. Know your place. So, yeah.
But I'm anti-black.
Okay. So, anyway, as I was so rudely interrupted, the movie was iconic because it was the first time there was like a black family that had superpowers that really just like did the damn thing. And then like wasn't the dude from like Cousin Skeeter, like the older cousin or something? Oh my god, I miss Cousin Skeeter. But anyway, that is my favorite movie. What is yours?
Was it Robert Richard?
Is that the one that was in One-on-One with Kyla Pratt?
Yeah.
No, he was like
so
dark.
fine.
He was,
I had a huge crush on him.
no, no.
Oh, Lee Thomas. Lee
Yes,
Thompson.
thank you.
Yes. I can't remember his full name, but he died. It's so sad.
Oh, he
But
played
was
Jet
fine.
Jackson. There we go.
Lee Thompson Young.
Yes.
That's his name.
Oh my god! Wow,
Wow.
my like nigga cells just like regenerated right now. that was amazing. That was what a moment. Anyway, Jonathan.
My favorite... I don't know why I automatically thought about live action movies instead of animation movies.
Mine was live action.
I know. No, I'm just saying...
Oh, okay.
Mine... Wow. I thought about Johnny Tsunami. What?
Yes.
Okay, I was like, was that not a good reaction?
No. It was great. Like you're doing
Yeah.
amazing, sweetie.
So Johnny Tsunami was kind of cute because it was this like a Hawaiian kid who moves to, I forgot where, but he just moves to some state with it's just like landlocked, and he's like, man, I want to do some like surfing, but a different form of it. So he starts to learn snowboarding, which is like, I don't know, a very Disney thing.
Such a dumb bitch thing to do.
And then he like masters snowboarding. So I'm just like, I don't know. That's I don't know why I liked it so much. But...
It's also about like, I'm gonna be Renee for a second. It's also about like assimilating into like white culture and like not and like standing your ground. Like when you really think about it, like he fell for the white girl and like he was trying to fit in with the white people, and they were like, "No, right. We don't want you, darky." Like, and it was a lot. His
best friend was this like really cute black guy. I forgot what his name was. Hold on.
I don't remember. I just remember his fine ass granddad. Like,
his best friend is Lee Thompson Young.
Oh yeah, the one we were.
Wow, he was in that movie too. Wow. But yeah, he was really cute in that movie. He played his best friend. I was like, whoa, that should be a thing. Like, they should be.
Did that start your fetishization phase, John?
What?
You're like, oh, I want that BBC.
I wanted to learn to snowboard too. That's all.
So you wanted to dip in the snow?
He wanted to play in the snow.
You know what?
Surfboard.
Even worse.
Yikes.
Well, I did just come back from Palm Springs, so I'm kidding.
So were you playing in the snow?
I was joking, but it's mostly white there, yeah.
Is it little old me's turn?
Yes.
You have permission to speak.
Well, as I was trying to say before, my little favorite movie, I guess I should say, was Xenon, Girl of the 21st Century.
Zenas Lapidus.
I've always been a girl of the future, and I love Afrofuturism.
Not my future.
Also, that was back when Raven Simone was that big, and she had her slinkies in her hair. She had the slinky pigtails.
Yes.
Did you say Afrofuture?
Afrofuture, yes, because Raven Simone was giving you Afrofuturism.
Wow. I like that.
It was all about Raven, really. Like I don't remember what her name was in the show.
She was the Beyonce of Disney for a really long time.
But yeah, Xenon. Oh God, what was that? There was like the guy. Remember the guy with the spiky hair? That was
zoom,
like the
zoom,
singer?
zoom. Make my heart go boom, boom. My supernova girl.
Supernova girl.
Yeah.
Yes. Let's take it back. Y'all kids don't know nothing about that.
Oh my God, Raven really actually was in shows with a lot of like when they had "We Are the Boys in Motion. We give you our devotion." Oh
yeah, that's so Raven.
Because we are sisters. We stand together.
We stick together.
We make it one big family. We don't.
Her name was Nebula. Her name was Nebula. Iconic.
What?
I'm naming my daughter Nebula.
Oh, Nebula. Oh God.
Yes.
I'm gonna name my daughter that now.
So I just said that, and what we're not gonna do is have children with the same names. I refuse.
Excuse.
So, anyways,
okay, what we're
that's
not gonna
be
do
it.
is think that Bazy's baby is more important than Rakim's baby. It's not okay just because I have my baby out of dreadlock that you think your baby's more important than my baby. And no one got that reference, but if you do, then we can get married.
I definitely didn't.
Yeah,
I know you didn't.
Can you say where that's from or no? You're just gonna
nope. We'll see.
Let's just move on. So that's going to be it for the intro. We'll be back with minutes of color.
Hello. We're back, and I just want to say before we start in the minutes of color that Baze is a bitch. And that's all. So what's on the docket?
Hello out there. It's me, little Bussy McKenna. Ooh, messed that up.
Bussy May.
Bussy May McKenna from Tallahassee, Georgia. And I'm here today. I was brought on as a guest. And I said I guess. And so I'm here. But what we've got on the docket for today is, well, there was just so many political moments last week, but, you know, it all happened literally minutes after we finished recording last week, so we couldn't get to it till now.
Bitch. When I tell you guys, when we literally hit end recording, that's when the Kevin Spacey thing came out. Like, literally the moment afterwards. And then all this other shit happened the next day. So that's why we like to record the day before. So that way, when the shitstorm happens on Monday, and we're prepared. That's all.
So, I guess we can start with what happened on Monday. I don't know if any of y'all heard, but Manafort was indicted. And Papadopoulos, yes, I said Papadopoulos with a P, pled guilty.
Pussy Papadopoulos.
Oh,
Pussy Papadopoulos.
Pussy, sweetie, I'm so sorry. How dare... Oh, my God.
Papadopoulos.
Papadopoulos.
Papadopoulos. Pussy
Papadonkelos.
Papadopoulos.
She got her down.
So they've been hit with a total of 12 charges by Special Prosecutor Robert Mueller's investigative team.
That bitch.
Manafort apparently has like a history of representing dictators in the United States, and just dealings with dictators in from the Congo, from the Philippines, from the Ukraine. Apparently, he likes countries with the in the beginning.
Damn.
Yeah, he this for Manafort it goes all the way back to the 80s.
I heard he was on Taylor Swift's PR team too. He just loves the dictatorships. Damn.
He was lobbying in Congress on behalf of a lot of brutal regimes in Angola that carried out mass rapes and Mobutu Sese Seko's violent regime in the Democratic Republic of Congo. His own daughter apparently believes that he encouraged the mass shooting of protesters in the Ukraine. So this man is what we like to call evil. And he's getting absolutely everything that he deserves. Also, it came out that there are now also that Mueller is turning his attentions. Well, not turning, but also how should we put this?
Focusing?
Spreading out the love. Giving it out. Like he's handing out indictments like Oprah is gifts under her seats on her show.
You get an indictment. You get an indictment.
Everybody going to jail now. Michael T. Flynn is now in his sights as well as Flynn's son. So they're being investigated over, I guess, ties to Russia specifically. So like this is like the first thing that's like this is specifically about Russia because or specifically with tying Trump to Russia because Manafort and not Papadopoulos, Manafort and Gates was about something different.
Bill
but
Gates.
Huh?
Bill Gates, what did he do?
No, not Bill Gates. What's this
kidding,
nigga's
girl.
name? Oh, okay.
You're like, wow, you're really dumb. Like,
Whoa.
Are you calling me dumb, bitch?
no, I was saying,
Oh.
no, I was saying that you were like, I'm really dumb when I said that.
His name is Rick Gates. Sorry, I was like, I don't remember this nigga's first name.
Ignored.
Yeah, right. I was like, he's not even gonna address that.
He's not even addressed that.
We gonna move on right past that. Yeah, it's just all one big mess. Trump has tried to like diminish Papadopoulos' role in his campaign, and he's just some volunteer who just came out of nowhere and just plopped on right down in the middle of the Trump campaign, and nobody knows where he came from or what ties he had to anyone or anything.
The best part about that is like there's literally photo evidence of him
in the room with
him. So
like together.
You're literally right there. So.
I think the picture may even be him looking at him.
Right.
Like
this
so there's a lot of
Go ahead.
Huh?
I was gonna say this administration's inability to care about facts is like terrifying, but it's also the funniest shit because it's like, girl, like we see you, like what are you doing? Like the incompetence level of these people is just so funny to me. Like if you're gonna like rig the election, at least be smart. Like I feel like we could have done a better job.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Well, they're all idiots, so that's really what it comes down to.
That's what I'm saying. Like. Oh my
like,
god! Can
at
you
all.
imagine?
But I like it. I'm glad they're not competent at doing what they're doing because it makes it much easier to take them down.
Can you just imagine if we had the opportunities that they did? Like, oh my! Like we would have been dictators by now. In power by now.
Yeah,
I was like dictators.
There's rumors that Trump wants to fire Mueller, but obviously, like that would have like a lot of blowback because he already fired Flynn. Well, actually, wasn't it that Flynn had his job or
Comey?
Comey. There we go. Sorry. Yeah. So you can't keep firing the head of FBI.
I feel like he could, because would the Republicans really do anything?
I just think that they're really pushing it, and weirdly enough, only 49% of Americans think that Trump has done something illegal.
What?
But
I need to see who was polled in that, because
yeah,
if you take all the white people out,
I keep reading. Oh, like almost the majority of the country believes. Almost half of the country believes. I'm like, almost half. That number is so low. Like his approval ratings are still in the 30s. I think it's at 33 now.
Damn.
So it's just like, and that's a record low, but I'm just like, how is it not lower?
Because WHITE, white. That's why. That's our new jingle for in the transitions. It's just gonna go, instead of going trash, 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 it's gonna go WHITE, white.
No.
Rand Paul got his ass whooped in front of his house by his neighbor. The dude broke 5 of his ribs. He had like lacerations on his face. The dude is his neighbor, and nobody they don't know why he whooped his ass, but they just know he did. So what? And a lot of people are like on Twitter, a lot of like, white liberals are like, oh my God, like no matter what he has done, he should not have his ass whooped. But I'm just like, this is exactly what needs to happen to all of them. I'm waiting to the day this happens to Paul Ryan.
Okay.
Like one of his neighbors, one of y'all motherfuckers need to get out and whoop his ass. Apparently this has nothing to do with politics, and it's just something that it was just like something between the two of them. But I don't know. Mr. Boucher, that's the dude's name. Mr. Boucher, I think you should try it again.
That was the reason I was laughing is because you said it like he whooped his ass.
Yeah.
He did.
Like,
did he not? His lungs. I'm reading.
No, I know.
Bruised lungs and broken ribs.
It's like, is that
that's
not
an ass whooping? That's an ass whooping.
It's just because everywhere else was like, oh, Rand Paul got assaulted. And you're just like, no, he got his ass beat.
He got his ass whooped. And that was what he deserved. It's what she deserves.
Oh, am I supposed to feel sorry for that bitch? I don't.
For what? Does he feel
Wasn't Rand Paul supposed to be like the Republican with sense a while ago?
He's supposed to be, but like, what does that really mean?
That's an oxymoron.
Really what that means is he's not crazy. And even that is just like a stretch.
Right.
Like the right is so extreme at this point that like
the limit does not exist.
Yeah. So moving right along. Oh, this is not an accent topic. So there was a shooting in Texas in a church. 26 people were killed. I read that the victims ranged from age 5 to 79. Apparently it was a domestic violence situation, and the shooter targeted the church because his in-laws went there, and they were they actually happened to be out of town. So
The
Trump.
thing, go ahead.
I was just saying, Trump came out and was like, "This is not a gun problem. This is a mental health issue. This was a very disturbed individual," which he literally says about everyone who,
Oh my god.
like, every time you can literally, like, it's a script at this point. Every time somebody shoots something up, he just calls them a disturbed individual and then moves on. So
It's just, I feel terrible for saying this, and Beige, you kind of said it too in the group chat, but it feels terrible saying it out loud, but like I didn't feel anything. Like I read it, like okay, that happened, and then I like scrolled, and I had to catch myself, like wait, what? Like why am I like? It's just.
It's so common now.
We're so desensitized to it. And I remember seeing like the Republican response to this. Like I remember seeing people say like, oh well, you should be glad that they died in a church, or like something like, oh, you should just be prepared for a shooting at this point. Like just mentally prepare yourself that it can happen anywhere. And it's just like, what the white people don't need to make laws anymore. I'm sorry. Like y'all had your chance since 1492 and you've done a shitty job at it. Like, and you don't need to be in power anymore because I guarantee. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Keep going.
I just say, I think if you give, and honestly, I don't think men need to make laws anymore. Like, I think if you just give black women 3 months, like 3 months, just them, bitch, national debt gone, wig pulled back, like, health insurance free, like national GDP increase, like just give them 3 months. And I'm telling you, like at this point it's just like they it's blatant that they just don't care. And so I don't understand. Like it reminds me of the New York Times ran an article, I think it was the New York Times, ran a commercial that was like, oh, this is an apple. Some people will tell you that some people will tell you that it's not an apple, and some people will constantly tell you that it's not an apple, but it's an apple. And it's like, and then at the end it's like, oh, we report the truth or something, or like facts matter or something. And I'm just like, they don't matter, because if they did, y'all wouldn't keep bringing the people on who keep saying that it's not an apple onto television, and you do. So like, if it feels like at this point, I just don't even give two shits, because I just feel like, and maybe that's terrible for me to say, but I just feel kind of defeated at the moment where like, it just feels like common sense just doesn't matter anymore. And it's like, I don't get, this situation is just literally textbook deflection. So I don't get like what's going to happen to change it. Like, I feel like until like something happens, like Ivanka Trump gets shot or whatever, then like,
whoa.
I'm not saying that I want that to happen to her, but I'm saying that like it's going to take something of that magnitude for something to even be considered, because he doesn't give two.
See, I didn't even think that, because we've had presidents die before.
Right.
True.
So like, you know,
well,
I one thing I will say too is that like, I think that obviously there's a trend. In these situations, it's always men. Even when it's not a white person, it's always men.
Why?
And so I think that that's something to be explored too. This guy was involved in domestic violence situations. Apparently he fractured his stepson's skull. Whoa. He choked his wife.
Wow. That person should not have a gun.
I mean, yeah, but like he was legally not supposed to. His gun wasn't registered. So it's just like, I think that that's the discussion that needs to be had as well, is like the way that men are socialized and the way that, you know. Well,
it even comes through in studies about suicide. Men always, when men commit suicide, they do it the more violent way. You know, with
really
guns. Yeah, and then they've done studies where usually females who commit suicide usually do like pills or something less violent. I don't know why that men choose to use guns in both, you know, violent situations.
Because men are trash.
Yeah, but I also think that like it's important to, because if you even think about that guy, I think there's an issue with entitlement. I think there's an issue with just the way that men view women. I think a lot of that has to do with these situations as well. because if you like look at even where did that happen at in LA where that dude it was I don't know if it was in LA, was it Santa Barbara where that college kid wrote a manifesto and then shot up a bunch of people and
a bunch of college kids from his car.
Was it his car? I don't remember the exact details, but I do remember he had written a manifesto about how like girls didn't want him and how he was half white and half Asian and how like
that was recent,
all
right?
the girls wanted. Yeah, it was like a few years ago. It was like a couple years ago, and he was like,
that was Santa Barbara,
and how all the girls wanted black guys and well, you know, bitches this and that, and it was just like there was like this entitlement to the way that, you know, he talked about women and how that fueled his anger. And it's not the same in this situation because this man didn't write a manifesto or anything, but like just that his main goal was to hurt his wife. You know, he didn't have her anymore. He wanted to hurt her, and her parents happened to be out of town, but that was their church, and they would have been there had they not been out of town. So, you know, I think it just comes down to like that needs to be a thing that becomes a topic of discussion as well. Like, yes, we definitely need to talk about gun violence and we definitely need reform. I think somebody did a list and all of the most recent shootings were AR-15s were used. People don't need AR-15s. You don't need machine guns.
Right.
Like, why? Why do you
There's
need
no
those?
reason that you need to kill that many people or things at all at one time.
But it's
unless
also
there's a
like,
zombie apocalypse, like I just don't see it.
I was at Big Five today. Like I was telling you guys, I was looking for some of those like Ho t-shirt things, and like I remember walking in, and I was immediately taken aback because on the left there's a whole section where it's just like rifles, like just there, and like handguns, and I remember being like terrified because I was literally thinking there were literally around like 35 to 50 guns like on this rack that were just easily purchasable. Like you can just go in and just purchase it, and like some of them were expensive, but a lot of them like weren't that much money. So like I could have bought, you know what I mean? Like that's crazy. You can go looking for some fucking Nikes and then just grab a gun too. Like the thing is with guns is they're used to kill things. So when people talk about their right to the Second Amendment, you're really talking about your right to kill something, right? Yeah. And like what makes me really scared about that is like what is so important that you want to kill? And the only thing I can think of is that you want to like prepare yourself if some like dark-skinned person runs into your house and tries to, and like what they think is going to like assault their daughter or whatever. And it's just like the whole thing, like when you actually look at it and like why people think it's important, it's because they feel that like black people and people of color are going to do to them what they do to us. And it's literally like, that's what it is. So maybe it's just because I've had a ton of wine before this episode, but I feel like we're on the brink of something really big about to happen. I don't know what, but I feel like some shit's about to go down. Well,
it needs to, because people are dying, and it's too like.
I'm ready.
Yeah,
Vegas just happened a month ago. You know.
Yeah,
and that's what's crazy. Yeah. No one talks about that anymore. That's what's insane.
Yeah,
like we haven't even recovered from that.
So, in lighter news. Disney. Did you guys hear about this? Did you hear about Disney? Did you hear about what's going on with Disney? Is in talks to buy. Is in talks to buy 21st Century Fox, which means that, you know, Miss Ororo Munroe might be making her entrance into Wakanda.
Disney what? Sorry.
Disney is in talks to buy 21st Century Fox.
Oh, so they're taking over Marvel?
Well,
or wait,
they're in talks, so we don't know yet. Talks.
I thought Disney already owned Marvel.
I don't know like the details of all that because I don't know comic book shit like that. I just know that Storm and Black Panther are being kept apart because of capitalism. And
Shut the fuck up.
That's all I know. I don't know about none of that other shit, but that's what I know.
Essentially, okay, so John, here's what the thing is. So Disney does own Marvel,
Yeah.
But in the 1990s, Marvel sold the rights to a lot of their characters because they weren't making money and they had to stay afloat. So they sold like the X-Men and all that shit, like the movie rights and that kind of thing, to Fox. So all the X-Men movies are like in Fox's cinematic universe with Deadpool, not like Thor and all that shit, right?
Oh.
And then that's why all the Spider-Man movies as before Civil War were like in their own separate universe. So now Disney's in talks to acquire that, which means that like the X-Men, the Fantastic Four can appear in the MCU, which means that like Storm can appear, which means that Wolverine, which I don't really need to see, can appear, which means that horrible ass Fantastic Four movie can be retconned and they can be put back into the Marvel MCU. Like, I am excited. Like, nothing. There are a few things that get my dick hard as like Marvel does, so I'm really excited for that.
Are your spider senses tingling down there?
Mine's are shit. My bussy senses are tingling.
Girl, when aren't they?
I mean, but they're tingling extra today.
You might need to go to the clinic, but sure.
Wow, are you slut shaming me?
I'm not slut shaming you at all. I'm a concerned friend.
Anyway, I'm just really happy because, bitch, this is what it needs. This is what it takes, I think, for Storm to get her origin story. I know it's coming. Okay, I know it's a long ways away, but it's coming. Okay?
Who do you want to play Storm?
They better cast Asia Naomi King. Ava DuVernay better be directing it.
All I know
I'd be fine with an unknown.
If y'all do that shit where you do a joke after every serious moment in that movie, I will literally kill you. I am so sick of Marvel doing that shit. Like, let there be a fucking serious moment in the goddamn movie. Like,
I know why you're saying that, but
sorry, I was taking a selfie. What? Yes, I'm annoyed because I just feel like Marvel has this thing that's been going on since like Age of Ultron, where they have to have a serious, or they can't have a serious moment like at all without having like a one-liner or some shit like that. And it's like, girl, just let there be a serious moment. God damn.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I thought there was a serious moment between Cap and Black Panther at the end of the last one.
But there was one moment.
Yeah, that's true. You're right. This is just what I'm here for, because y'all, do you know what, like, the magic that would be a Black Panther Storm movie?
Ooh.
Oh my god.
Like, bitch.
I think I'm pre-coming from thinking about it. That
Kenya meets Wakanda, bitch.
Wait, in the comic world, do they really meet?
They get married.
They're married, girl. They have a child.
Iconic.
I thought Storm and Thor had a thing. Because they're both like...
This is like a TV show. Everybody has a thing.
Storm had a thing with Wolverine for a while, too. But Storm's most memorable relationships, other than Forge, is Black Panther. She was the queen of Wakanda.
The thing is, what people don't understand about Storm is like, I know I say people are that girl frequently, but Storm is really that girl. Storm is that woman, okay? Storm is a witch. Storm is a mutant. Storm, like, knows how to do physical combat. Like, who else is doing that?
Storm. Who else? Did you guys watch the show? The cartoon show?
Yes.
Wasn't Storm also, like, the queen of the underworld? Like, when she went in the sewer and she found all these other mutants, and then, like, she fought the leader of the sewer people, and then
Warlocks.
Warlocks, yeah. And then she became the queen of them too.
That was a while ago.
All I know is that show turned down her powers because Storm was so powerful that, like, if she got upset, if Storm got pissed, like, tidal waves happened. So, like, Storm is that bitch. Like, Halle Berry, girl, I love you, but that
she did not convey.
That was not it. Like,
she did not convey the fullness of who Storm was, and will always be.
Have you seen the movie 2012? Like, when it's like the apocalypse weather? That's Storm on a bad day. Like, that's what she can do. So I need that back. So I know the MCU will do her right. After I think was it Civil War when T'Challa is like fine ass tall like black woman bodyguard went up and was like, "Move or you will be moved." Like,
yeah.
I think at that moment they realized, oh shit, the fans love strong, or not. I don't want to say strong black women. My God. But they love like black women in the MCU. So I think after that, like if they ever do a Storm movie, they won't fuck it up. They know.
Wow, I just Googled Storm Queen and then it filled in Wakanda for me. All these cool images came up. I can't believe I haven't seen this yet.
Pockets of Color, episode 32, Storm Appreciation Day, because she's that bitch.
Oh my God, Storm. So like, who would you want like cast as her if they were to do an origin movie right now?
As like a younger Storm?
Yes. I was thinking Asia. So at first I was thinking Lupita, but I was like Asia Naomi King, who is not actually much younger than Lupita, or they might be the same age.
Really?
I think she can actually play younger because I think she looks like she's like 20, 21, even though she's like 32.
What?
Yeah, she's 32.
I swear to God, I thought she was 26 or like 22. Fuck.
Yeah. So I was like, she can play younger and she can also continue to play her and play older.
I
know what I mean? So that's why I thought
she would be a great choice.
And she's an amazing actress. I mean, did y'all watch How to Get Away with Murder last week?
Not yet, girl, because my nerves aren't up to that level yet. Like
Bonnie is on my last nerve, and Asher needs to just die. I'm over
all I'm
Asher
hearing
completely.
is Bonnie's annoying, Laurel's annoying, Asher's annoying. They can all choke.
All the white characters can pretty much just die off, pretty much.
Wow. You know what? I'm gonna say an unknown actress because I really want to give someone else a chance to really kind of shine because I can't really think of anyone, and this is indicative of the industry. Like I can't really think of that many like dark skinned like actresses that would do. Like I almost said Tessa Thompson, but then I realized like hell no. So like that's because I just saw Thor. So
I just wish that. Well, yeah, I just wish that because I wish I could think of somebody because I was trying to think of somebody like Zendaya's age. Who's like not light skinned, but all I could think of was like her and like Yara Shahidi. But Sky Jackson, I don't see it for Sky Jackson as
she's
Storm.
like 14.
Yeah, I mean, she could play the young Storm. She could play like the teenage Storm, who's like wearing a wig and trying to like hide who she is. But like, I don't see her carrying like a teenager Storm, like an older teenage Storm. You know.
I'm gonna do a Renee answer and say that Azalea Banks.
Okay, so what's the next topic? No, I refuse.
No, you know, I don't know how her acting is, but
you know what?
We gotta wait for her movie. No.
You know what? She's too short. I think
acting ability aside, I would allow it. Like on look,
but her accent is just. There's no way you get rid of that accent.
Can you like? I feel like they're gonna be like during the takes or whatever, and they're gonna have 0 takes that are where she doesn't break character.
I mean,
so, like,
Azalea Banks is a witch.
Suck my dick, Professor X.
What's next?
Some nasty ass white girl at the University of Hartford was like rubbing used tampons and like spitting in coconut oil and like. Sticking toothbrush and like maybe her pussy, maybe her asshole, we don't know because she just said where the sun does shine. It was doing all this nasty ass shit to this black girl, Jazzy Faye Productions.
Shut the fuck.
Her name is Chanel
Jazzy Faye.
Her name is Chanel Jazzy Rowe. She goes by Jazzy. And she said that she actually went to the university initially and they tried to like cover it up. So now like the university's trying to play it like they've always been on top of it. Homegirl's like maybe getting felony charges pressed against her.
Good.
Her dumb ass like went and like bragged about this on Instagram.
How stupid is she?
And she also referred to the black girl as Jamaican Barbie, which I don't know. It just is weird. It's all weird. It's not like anything is just like this is racist, but like it all feels weird. And anybody who's black knows that this is racist. Basically, like this is really what it was about. And I don't know. Like, why are white people like this? Why can't y'all just? You couldn't have just said you don't like her and just been like, bitch, this is my side of the room. That's your side of the room now.
Right.
That's it. We don't need to talk no more.
Like I've dealt with bad roommates before, but like this is some whole other. I hope that in addition to that girl, first of all, I hope she sues for everything. I hope she gets all the money. and she will. I hope she sues the university and that white girl's family. But
Yes.
I also hope that girl beats her ass because if
It's not gonna happen.
Huh?
It's not gonna happen.
Because can you imagine someone?
But I hope somebody
like,
in jail beats her ass.
Yeah.
That's just like John walking up to me and like I fucked myself with your mic, bitch. Have fun with pink eye. I would whoop your ass, bitch. I wish.
This is literally every time I'm like, wow, how did the Black Plague get started? You just look at this.
Yep.
You just gotta look at the antics of the Caucasians and you will see how shit got where it went.
Like, why y'all so fucking nasty? Like, why can't
And you know what? She looks like those white girls that fuck black men but hate black women. She has her little nose ring. And she you know what I mean? She looks like she wears her hair in a bun all the time and wears like hoodies.
She looks like she wants to save The Last Dance or something.
Oh
no, she can't do that. Don't come for Julia Stiles.
Julia Stiles, sweetie. Like,
we're so sorry, Julia Stiles. Julia Stiles was a ballerina, bitch.
Is she really?
No, well, in the movie.
Oh,
I was like, wait
a minute. I was like,
but doesn't she looks like she looks like she fucks black guys. She looks like she like raps and loves trap music.
I think she does though.
Doesn't she look like exactly like that? She looks like she says nigga a lot, and she looks like she has a bunch of niggas who probably gas her up and tell her that it's cool. She probably hates the fact that she has to room with this black girl who like looks so much better than her.
Yeah, I was gonna say she's prettier than her, so she's gonna like. I mean, calling her a Barbie is like a weird.
That's a compliment, dude.
Yeah,
like, you're jealous. Like,
yeah.
like you're also dumb. It's just she played her hand with that. To me, she looks like those white girls that like she looks like the white girl who's like the girlfriend of like a black dude who can't rap in the cipher, but like she tells him that he can do that anyway, and like knowing damn well they're not going to get a record deal, but she saves them because the dick is too good. Like she doesn't really offer anything.
Mm-hmm.
Or she's like the white girl from like Sir Mix-a-Lot, you know, like oh my god, look at her butt.
No,
like,
she doesn't look like that.
But sweetie, she's like the girl off of that like that rapper movie about the white girl. Patty Cakes.
Yeah, the white girl rapper.
That's her.
Yeah, I think she just looks like one of those white girls that just doesn't like black women but loves black men and can't wait to have mixed babies and can't wait to talk about how her baby daddy and her baby's hair and her cream colored children, not cream, her what's mixed? What's the mixed color? I don't know. I don't know. Mocha.
Beige?
No, is mocha dark skin? I don't know.
Fluorescent beige.
I don't know. Beige.
Gray?
Yes, there we go. Her beige colored children.
Fluorescent beige color.
Not fluorescent. All I have to say to you, sweetie, is you can take a shot of battery acid and chase it with molten lava and choke. I have nothing else for you.
I just suggest a shower because she don't look like she's taking one in a minute. That's what I
basic
suggest.
human needs.
You know, just like basic hygiene, girl. You need to practice it because it doesn't seem like something that you've participated in a while.
She's so dirty that the pussy crabs are asking for water. They're just like, help! I'm trash. I'm sorry.
The pussy crabs.
Is that a thing? Pussy crabs?
I mean, there's crabs, period.
Yeah,
but I don't think there's like a specific one for pussies.
Imagine you called into your doctor's office and they're just like, "Oh, you are positive for pussy crabs." She's like, "What?"
It's like, what is that? I don't know, girl. That's a white strain. Only Caucasians have it. I don't know about that shit. Oh my god, they like feed off of like mayonnaise and pussy juice or something. I don't know.
What's the thing when you have bugs in your skin? Is it
a
rickets?
ringworm?
No.
Scabies?
Scabies, there we go. She looked like she got it all.
I said a ringworm. Oh,
a ringworm? She probably got that too. I've actually never had a ringworm. And
I used to think that those were real worms in your arm.
I did too. Ugh. Anyway.
John is like, y'all are dumb, but
so Meek Mill.
Pobrecito.
He's going to jail for 2 to 4 years.
Well,
his real name is Robert Williams, which I was like, oh, okay.
That explains a lot.
It didn't to me. I thought his name was gonna have something to do. Like I thought his name was gonna be like Millard or like
Miller,
McKeichel. I don't know.
I thought it was like Mackay Pfeiffer.
I don't know, girl. Mackay Williams or something. I don't know. Apparently, so this is he's been on probation since 2009, which damn, that's a long ass time. He's been on probation since 2009. Apparently, the first violation was he got into an altercation at an airport when someone was trying to take a picture with him, and he didn't want to do it, and it just turned into an altercation. But his lawyer got those charges dropped. And then he was also on a bike popping wheelies on a motorcycle and popping wheelies in the middle of a street without a helmet on. And so he got arrested for that. But then the judge decided, like, he got those dropped as well. But then the judge decided that getting arrested, period, during his probation was enough of cause for him to go to jail for 2 to 4 years. And, like, a lot of people are laughing about it. And I don't really care one way or the other because I'm not a Meek Mill fan. And I just don't care. I just think it's interesting, though, that he's getting so many years. And, like, you know, again, I can't help but think, like, about all the cops that have killed people and, like, gotten off. And this man is going to jail for 2 to 4 years for, like, popping willies in the middle of the street.
I mean, but stupid is as stupid does, so...
Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to shed any tears about it. And I'm not going to, you know, I'm not going to be out in the streets marching or nothing. I'm not going to be calling my senator over this. But, you know... I think it's a lot.
I just feel like Nicki and Drake are somewhere just laughing their asses off. like they're laughing, and the best thing I never had by Beyonce's playing in the background softly, and they're just like screaming, and like I feel like Drake's gonna release another diss track or something like that. Like, actually, if he did that, like, I would suck his dick. I mean, I would suck his dick, like, regardless if he released it or not. But like, release it, Drake. That's all.
Beyonce is gonna be Beyonce is been announced as a Nala in Lion King. So I mean, bitch, do it now, no baba.
Like, I could not wait,
bitch.
Can you imagine?
2019 is the year.
Can you imagine just hearing, like, the Circle of Life with Beyonce's background vocals? Like,
she gonna out-sing everybody. They gonna lower her mic, and it's gonna be like a repeat of the Country Music Awards when she performed with the Dixie Chicks. And they gonna lower her mic, and you still gonna be able to hear her over everyone.
Still, okay, just listen. Think of this. Hold on.
Okay, but like I'm like picturing Beyonce doing that. Okay, yes.
Like, amazing.
Yes.
I cannot wait. Like, the meme that has taken me out is when it's just like, it goes Simba, and then Simba's like, Beyonce!
Oh my god.
And it's so black. Everybody's black, but like Billy Eichner and
Seth Rogen.
And, is it Seth Rogen?
It's
Seth Rogen.
There Pumbaa and I forgot who the other one.
Timon and Pumbaa.
Timon.
Yeah.
I'm okay with Seth Rogen being Pumbaa. He's like the one white that I'm okay with.
Yeah. I was just like, that's still like 2 whites too many, but you know, we'll accept it. The Black Coalition has had a meeting and we'll allow it.
Seth Rogen is like low key fine though, so I'm like, okay, I'm okay with that.
I mean, yeah, I won't deny that.
Like, he got really cute all of a sudden. I don't know why or how, but I was like, oh, okay. Like, sure, I'm okay with that. So,
speaking of Beyonce.
He can what?
I said, speaking of Beyonce. She was also, she also released her pictures from Halloween. She decided to extend Halloween for a week. And she gave you a look for every day of the week. As Little Kim. My favorite look was the green short wig with like the fishnets. Yes, that was my look. That was mine.
It's just, I just like.
She ain't had to do that to us, but she did.
So, can you like? How do you just this on it and just write all the time? Like, it's just like I feel bad for everyone else because it's just like, what are you doing? Like, no, but really, every time Beyonce does something, it's just like she just proves to you how much better she is than all of the artists that are out right now. Like, it's just. it's embarrassing. Like, not only just musically, just like I'm embarrassed for people at this point. It's like Lady Gaga, who? Like, it's just I don't. She's everything.
Everything. Some white gay did blackface for Halloween, and apparently he was supposed to be Storm. I have the link here, so I don't know if y'all saw that, but it was.
I did. Let's get his name because I have words for him.
Oh, his name is Zachary Crane.
He's also a Trump voter.
He's apparently allegedly 30, but
his lips look like they're 30. Like. So
his lips look like someone's asshole. Like he really looks like he just got fisted. Why
talk about a rosebud.
Like
yeah, let's talk. I was just about to say, let's talk about his rosebud ass, lopsided ass. Like, I want to be Justin Bieber. Or not Zayn. What's that fucking dude's name?
Zac
Nail
Efron.
From One Direction ass, beat up ass, tired ass, I suck too much dick ass, my mouth is lopsided ass face. Let's talk about him for a second. Because, okay, so everyone always wants to be like, oh my God, why do you guys always talk about white gays so much? Why do you talk about white people so much? Because of shit like this. First of all, bitch, the outfit, like, you look like a burned peanut and you're fucking black. Like, I don't know what the fuck this is. If you're trying to be Storm Beach, at least do it correctly. You're going to get a stencil, your contour's off, the X that you made is uneven, the lips that you put aren't all the way there. I can still see the white skin under the black face. The hair that you did was not on point. The earrings that you got were too big for your fucking ears. The outfit you got was trash. Nothing you had matched. It didn't look good. Even if we disregard the blackface, your outfit was trash. You look like you were in 5th grade and you were right-handed and trying to paint with your left hand to put the X on. You don't know what the fuck you're doing. On top of that, you're dumb as shit. I don't care about this article that says you have 22,000 followers. You look like a fucking idiot. Your chin looks like an ass, like a loose ass. Like, there's not, like, your eyebrows are uneven. One of them on the right side is cut off halfway. So you're not a drag queen. So I don't know what the fuck the problem is. Your edges aren't there. They're actually in the shape of Wonder Woman's crown, her little thing. Like, it dips at the bottom. It's not a widow's peak, bitch. It's a bitch's peak. You don't look good. Nothing about you screams successful to me. Nothing about you screams smart to me. Nothing about you screams intelligent. All you know how to do is lift heavy things, bitch. But guess what? I can do that too. Bates can do that too. John can do that too. So actually that leaves nothing special about you. You're a wannabe. You're washed up. You don't have anything to contribute to society. You don't do anything. You won't ever be anything. You weren't ever anything. Just because people want to fuck you does not mean that you're probably good at that. You probably just look good to them in the face, and your asshole probably don't even look good. So, or feel good, bitch. So everything about you is a failure. Nothing about you is succeeding. Nothing about you is correct. Everything about you is wrong. So what you can do is take a seat, delete your Instagram, delete your Twitter, never say anything else again, and then I'm done.
He's been complaining about death threats, but girl, like, you really bought it on yourself. We've been talking about blackface for about 10 years now. If this was 2003, I can maybe think that maybe it's possible that you didn't know what you were doing, but it's 2017, and not only have people been talking about this for like the past decade, like more seriously and more like with more earnest, sorry, let me rephrase myself. People have been talking about this, and it's gotten a lot more attention. People have been getting called out for the last 10 years. So I find it hard to believe that this was just something that you unintentionally did. Also, people were preemptively warning people before Halloween, hey, white people, don't do these things.
Right.
And you still did it. And it wasn't like you even did it for anything. Like, you didn't do it and you came out looking like good or sickening or anything. Like, you literally look like a piece of shit with white paint on it.
An uneven white paint. That's the gag. Like, it's just...
He's ugly as shit, but he's
also,
white.
He's a really
and he
shitty
has the right
artist.
haircut, and he has abs. What'd you say, John?
I said also, he's a really shitty artist. Did you see what he...
I've seen what he
did
calls
to Miss Viola Davis?
Yep.
I don't want to. Sorry, I have nothing else to say. I said what I need to say on him. He's trash.
Anyway,
Yeah.
moving right along. Kevin Spacey.
Speaking of whites.
Yes. He
the rest of the
decided to
docket
come
is
out-
white.
Speaking of gay whites.
He decided to come out as a white gay. And it was stupid. I mean, it probably was the worst thing he could have done because people turned on him so quickly after he did that.
So quickly.
what is this man's name that accused him?
Anthony Rapp.
Anthony Rapp, yes, said that he assaulted him when he was 14 years old and Kevin Spacey was 26, which for me is like crazy because like I'm 26 and I'm just like,
ew.
I can't imagine looking at a 14-year-old and being like, damn. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And apparently he invited him to his house and invited him to his bedroom. Or no, did he wander into the bedroom to get away
And he got
from
on
the
top
party?
of him or something
And
like
then
that.
he picked him up off of something and then put him on the bed and then laid on top of him and like asked him if he wanted to stay the night. And when he like left, when he had to struggle to get him off of him, Anthony Rapp had to struggle to get Kevin Spacey off of him. And then when he was leaving, you know, Kevin Spacey was asking him if he was sure he didn't want to stay. Since then, since Anthony Rapp came forward, there's been people that worked on House of Cards who have said that he has been inappropriate with PAs, that he had to be like moved away. They had to like hide these young guys from him.
Oh my god!
That he couldn't even interact. They wouldn't even have him interacting with young men anymore. They would just put women like in his face, basically.
Isn't he out of House of Cards now?
Yeah, he was fired.
Yeah.
Yep, he's trash. I mean, I've heard rumors about Kevin Spacey for like years, so I don't really.
People were saying that he was like hiding in a glass closet, basically, because we
Yeah.
could all see that he's gay. But
Richard Dreyfuss, his son Harry, said that I keep wanting to say Trump. That Kevin Spacey harassed him while Richard was in the room. So he harassed a kid while he was 18. He harassed an 18-year-old kid while his dad was in the room.
oh my god!
Groped him and everything while he like and he said the thing that made it so weird is that it was just he just tried to make it so normal, but at the same time he was trying to act normal because he didn't want his father to react and get fired from the show, because I guess it was Kevin Spacey's show and Richard Dreyfuss was just like an actor on it.
Holy shit!
Yeah, so I mean, I think that the reason he responded the way he did is he knew that this was going to be a big thing. I think the reason he was fired is because they knew it was going to be a big thing. I think everyone knew that this was going to come out, and it was going to be a bunch of young guys coming out to say that they had this experience.
But that is like the worst way to come out. Like, I forgot what I read from who, but someone said there's not a bad time to come out, but this was like a really bad time to come out.
Billy Eichner, he said he invented something that nobody thought was possible, which is a bad time to come out.
Right.
Yeah, his PR team was literally sitting there, like, he thought that he had a bunch of Olivia Popes, and like he was like, well, maybe if I say that I'm gay at the end of this, that the articles would be like, well, I'm gay, instead of I assaulted a 14-year-old. And I saw a few different like white outlets doing that. But I think overall most people got the point, and like that was trash, and that he shouldn't. I don't know. Like, I mean, he's clearly feeling the like the hammer, because House of Cards is, you know, last season. Yeah. That's it. I think the production of it has halted. I don't get why y'all just can't. If you want to continue it, just have Robin Wright do it. Like, whatever.
So what's this thing with Taylor Swift?
Oh. So, Miss Taylor, she pretty much sued a fan, or sued a blog, or threatened to sue a blog, because they posted this article, that says, let me bring it up so I don't get dragged like y'all do when you read stories.
Well,
Okay, so the ACLU sent a letter to Taylor Swift's attorney, responding to her legal team. No, I don't want to look at this ad. How do I fucking close it? Fuck. Oh my god. So essentially, Taylor Swift's people sent the ACLU sent this thing to sorry, let me start over. Sorry. Wine. The ACLU
Girl, my brain is mush today too. I feel
sorry. The I've had half a bottle. The ACLU sent this thing to Taylor Swift's camp because they were trying to pretty much intimidate this reporter who had this article that said something like Taylor Swift is like the lowercase KKK darling of the alt-right or something like that. And she pretty much sent like her lawyers on the person or whatever. And so instead of actually just coming out and saying like, no, I don't like the alt-right, I'm not associated with them, I disavow them or whatever, she sent her lawyers on this reporter who was writing an opinion piece on it. And to me, it just reads like you're not denying it, but you just don't like the bad press. Yeah. And so I think that Taylor Swift's, and y'all know, I've tried to give her a chance this album cycle. And we've said it on the show, I was excited when I saw that snake shit on her Instagram because I was like, ooh, she's about to be like, fuck all y'all, whatever.
Yeah.
But that's not what she did. She continues to, like, perpetuate this victim thing. And the thing that is so crazy about it is, like, she's self-aware that she's doing it. Because in the music video for that one terrible song that was her lead single, like, she... in the end of the video was like, oh, she's always playing the victim. And it's like, but sis, like, that's what you are doing. And I've listened to all of the songs that she's released. And the thing that for this album cycle, and what's annoying about it to me is that, like, she keeps referencing, like, people lying and that kind of thing. But I'm like, girl, you're the one that lied. Like, everyone knows this. So unless you know something that we don't know and you didn't release the information, I don't get where this is coming from. You don't have a platform to speak from. So it's just like I don't get like what her angle was. I don't know. Her team needs to be fired because clearly like they weren't thinking this through and the songs are flops. Like I liked 2 of them and I was just like, I guess like none of them to me.
Yeah, nothing is sticking.
Nothing sticks out, and it's just kind of like and I wanted to like her. I really did because there was like some of her albums like rock or not rock. Fuck.
1989 was a good album.
Red bangs. But I was just sitting here like, girl, what the fuck is this shit? So everything about this to me was just like white ass foolishness. And I just wish that it is. And it's just, she keeps making references in her songs about like blue eyes and green eyes. And it's like, girl,
yeah,
like,
I told you.
All her
the
music.
Aryan Princess is back.
Because all her music is literally like, and you look at her videos, all her love interests are literally like ugly white guys that everyone thinks are attractive but really aren't. And so it's
okay. Sean O'Prye is actually a very handsome.
Oh, Sean
model.
O'Prye is different, but everyone else.
I was obsessed with him for a minute.
Sean O'Prye looks like a sexy ass spatula, but everyone else is just like ugh. Like
he was in her
blank space
style video.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I was obsessed with him for a minute.
Oh no, you guys!
What?
He's cute.
I don't know. He looks really fake.
Oh, yeah. Well,
no.
That's why we all have our own opinion.
That's my opinion.
That's my opinion. Yeah. We have a couple
really
more stories,
in.
but Jesus, my mind is just gone. So let's just move on to the
discourse.
There we go. Sorry. I'm so tired. Okay, yeah, so we'll be back with Well, hello. We're back.
Hi, I didn't see you there.
So we got a little question here for the discourse. And the question is, confidence. Have you ever faked it? And how far is too far? So, I don't know. Yes, I do fake it. I am going first, right? Or did you go?
Yep.
Yes, okay.
Oh, you are.
Okay, so yes, I try to fake it. It's easy for me to fake it when I'm silent. So like if I'm just like appearing places at parties and such, if I'm just walking down the street, I'm really good at like I can fake confidence. Like I'm always like second guessing my choices whenever I leave the house. I'm like, oh my god, why did I wear this? I should have worn the other thing, or I should have did this, or I should have did that, or I should have had my earring, or I should have had my shades, or you know what I mean? Just like I'm just constantly second guessing myself because I never trust my own decisions. But I'm really good at just being like, you know what, bitch, like you wore it. It's what you got on. You can't go home and change. So just like rock it. Like just feel good about yourself, or at least try to pretend like you are. But I find that in social situations, I just have to be comfortable because I'm really not good at faking like confidence. Like I'm just really quiet. I'm really reserved. I just can't pretend like I'm this, like I can't just turn it on like that and just walk into a room and just like glow, you know what I mean? Like I have to be in that place already. And it's funny because this past weekend I was at a convention and we were at this black tie event for Mark's agency, and I was sitting next to I don't know if you call him the owner or the president of the agency. And like I was frozen for like 5 minutes sitting next to him, and then I started talking to someone across from me, and I just relaxed, and suddenly I was just like schmoozing, you know what I mean? Like it was like I was like sitting here talking to all these other authors and agents, and I was suddenly just confident, and I don't know where that comes from. You know, I'll be in social situations, and especially in professional social situations, and I can't explain it. Like it just turns on for me, and I'm not the one turning it on. So I don't know how to fake that. But how far can it ever go too far? I believe it can. I recently had an interaction with someone who, let me not go into detail, but we were having a conversation and they were just talking a lot about themselves and just, I mean, you would have thought that they had like a scroll, you know, those scrolls that just like in the movies and they just fall to the floor and like across the floor.
Yeah.
It was like they were reading their resume from that. And I was just like, oh, okay. And then, like, there was a point where I tried to, like, you know, you try to exchange. Like, they're talking about what they do. You talk about what you do. And then it was just, like, there was no response to what I did. It just went back to the resume. And I was just like, oh, okay. Like, there was no response. You know what I mean? Like, you know when people at least acknowledge what you're saying? There was not even an acknowledgement. It was just continuation of what he was saying. So I just thought so I think that in situations like that, you know, I think I told you about it, Rakimi. You were like, sometimes you have to let a bitch know, and that's true. Sometimes you really do have to let people know because they will try to play you like you're not, you know, worthy of their time or whatever. But
yeah,
I think that there comes a point where it's it comes off less like I'm confident and less like I'm confident. Please look at me. I'm confident. Can't you tell I'm confident? You know what I mean? Like it's like you're begging me to see your confidence, and I'm at that point. I'm not sure if it's you're trying to convince me or if you're trying to pump yourself up and make yourself feel confident.
Yeah, it almost sounds like they are coming off more insecure.
Yeah,
by pretending. So
yeah,
and it's very what's the word? See-through, transparent.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah, it is.
Well,
I mean,
also,
yeah, and that's the whole time, and that's what I was thinking. I was like, yikes, like, ugh. And there was a whole air. It wasn't just the. Oh, go ahead.
No. Keep going.
Oh, I was just gonna say it wasn't just like the way that it wasn't just what they were saying. It was like the way that they were talking. There was a whole like, well, I'm this and I do this and I'm that, and I was just like, oh, and like it really was like, you know, you could just talk to me like a regular person and that would have been fine. And I was already impressed with what you were doing. I don't need all this extra shit. Like, I was impressed. I was like, I think this is all of what you're saying to me is really impressive. But it got to a point where I went from being impressed to just being like, oh, okay. Like, I went from being impressed to being kind of like feeling like a little sorry for the person.
What do you define confidence as?
I think
this third ward.
I think
What is your aspiration? Sorry.
I think confidence is to be happy. No, I think it shows itself in different ways, and I think it like obviously depends on the context. I think it can be as simple as, the way that you carry yourself. I think it can be, the way that you go about the work that you do. I think that especially I think that there is a value in especially for a lot of people of color, we do have to be a little bit more showy about about our abilities because people are slower to acknowledge them. Mm-hmm. But I also feel, I don't know, I guess I just feel like it's the difference between being, I guess, like wealthy and being rich. You know what I mean? Like it's that there's a point where it's okay. Shade is a perfect example. The quote from Paris is Burning is like, shade, if I'm reading you, you know that I'm reading you, but if I'm throwing shade, or I forgot how the quote is, but you know what I mean. You get what I mean. Like the difference
right.
it's there's a subtlety. I feel
reading came first.
No, she was saying that.
No, I know.
It's not a read. It's just a fact.
Yeah,
there's a difference between a read and a fact.
But I don't know what I'm trying to. Y'all, I'm so sorry. Like my mind is really just not there today. It's I know what I'm trying to say, but it's really difficult for me to formulate into words. I feel like confidence. I feel like I don't want to sound like a hater, but I do feel like there should be a subtlety to it. You know what I mean?
No,
I feel like if
right.
you're constantly going around and you're just telling everyone about yourself, I feel like that's where it bleeds over into insecurity. I think if you're confident about something, I don't think you need to do all that. I think when you're confident about things, your art speaks for itself, or what you do speaks for itself a lot of the times. And I think that just being efficient at what you do, and I think that whether that be social, you don't have to go around telling everyone who you know. You can just know them.
Right.
And you can just be confident in the fact that you know them. But the difference between someone who's confident about that and someone who isn't is someone who feels like they need to tell people that they know that person.
Yeah.
I don't know if that answers your question.
Yeah, I think the word I was thinking of when you said a little too confident is when someone becomes arrogant.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a difference between, being confident and arrogant. Someone who's just arrogant, I guess, there's a sense of I'm sort of better than you kind of thing. When you're just confident, you don't have to, act like you're above anybody. You just know who you are, and you don't have to do anything to defend that. It just, you're like what you're saying. It explains yourself, whatever you do.
John, have you heard that really? Okay, it's like a cliche kind of saying, but it's confidence is walking into a room and not feeling, or confidence is walking into a room and not thinking that you're better than anyone, but not feeling like you have to compare yourself to anyone.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
And I think that's kind of. Sorry, Bass, I don't want to go if you're still going.
Just one other anecdote I was going to share was just I remember, John, when we were at that club, and remember I was on some things. We won't talk about what I was on, but just know that it wasn't crack or meth. And I was, I was having a good time, and I was going up and I was talking to people, and obviously I understand if that is annoying to people, that's fair, and I'm not entitled to anyone's time or attention. But there was a moment when I went up to these black gays. There was 3 of them, and I was like, "Oh my God, that's so amazing that you guys, that you have this friendship, and there's 3 of you, and you're all black, and 2 of them were really friendly and smiled and were laughing, and then one was just ugh, why are you even existing in my direction?" Yeah. And what stood out to me about that interaction was then every time I happened to look in their direction, and I don't even just mean because they were in different spots in the club, but every time I happened to look in their direction, I caught his eye.
Yeah, he was looking at you. He was throwing shade in a way.
But I don't know. See, what's funny about that is I didn't take it like that. Like, I didn't take it like he was throwing shade. I took it like, I'm having a good time and you're watching me do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's how I took it.
Like, he was a little jealous, no?
I don't know. I don't want to put that on him, but I'll just say that, like, I just thought it was interesting because it was just like and this is what happens, and this is a very common thing with, like, black gay men and their interactions with each other. Yeah. And this is just outside of, like, white gays and, like, approval and all that. Just, like, in terms of just the way that a lot of black gay men interact with each other is very much like, I have to walk into the room and act like I'm better than all of you. And that's just what it is. And that's how I'm going to put my confidence on display. And that's kind of what I got from him, which was this, like, like, bitch, like, I'm better than you. How dare you even, like, be in my same space? But then at the same time, like, the rest of the night, every time I happened to, like, look in his general direction, I caught his eye because he was already staring at me. So It just was like, to me, it came off as, like, insecurity. And I'm not saying that he was necessarily jealous of me, but maybe that he maybe saw something in me that he had to compete with. Or, you know what I mean? Like, it could have been any number of things, but to me, it just came off as insecure.
It could also have been him being territorial, too.
Oh, right.
What do you mean?
Well,
like, these are my friends, don't talk to my friends.
Well, not even just that, but I feel like sometimes, I don't know, like, who he was with, but I feel like sometimes when you're, like, a black face in a white space, especially, like...
Oh, it was Blow, so it was mostly black people.
Oh, well, shut me up, then. Well... Hater.
I mean, I can't say what he was thinking. I don't know him. I didn't know his thoughts or any of that, but it just was just very interesting. That stuck out to me because just for the rest of the night, I kept accidentally making eye contact with him. So I was just like, this is interesting. Like, I have your attention for some reason. And if I was as insignificant as you tried to play me off as, then why are you know what I mean? Like, that was that one interaction. I didn't talk to them again after that. Like, I was like, okay, you clearly are not interested in having conversation. I left them alone and didn't speak to them for the rest of the night, but I definitely had his attention for the rest of the night. So I was just like, I don't know.
But, like, why do you think, like, because I'm just curious. I mean, it just doesn't make sense to me that you're going to go to some space and then just, like, give someone the stank eye. I mean, like, you could be having people...
Girl, the black gays are really like that. Like, people go out. And I don't... And why is that? I just think, it's about the fake confidence. Everybody wants to appear. It's all about presenting yourself, presenting the person that you want to be, right? Like, we all put, like, who we want people to see on our Instagram. Now, I'm not as good about that because I just put whatever I feel like putting at the moment, but, like, that's still something that I wanted to present to people, right? So I think that there's just this obsession with presenting the right face to people.
But I guess my
people
question...
are out... Oh, sorry, go ahead then.
No, but no, you're right. It's just more like, okay, I guess to me, I'm interested in why people are interested in putting out this, like, I'm a bitch thing. Like, why is that so important to people? And, like, that's what I want to understand. Because I get, like, the fake confidence thing, but this whole, like, like, I'm a savage, I'm gonna be a bitch to you, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Like, I don't get
just off the bat.
Maybe some past trauma or something.
Yeah, I wonder if maybe as part of it isn't the whole, like, I've been rejected, so I'm gonna be the first to reject you.
Yeah, it's like a cycle.
So I'm gonna be like,
maybe they used to be a nice person, but then that burned them. And now they're just a mean person.
Or maybe they felt less than, and so the only way they can feel better is to treat people like they're better than them.
Right. You never know with shit like that, you know?
Yeah.
So
what have your experiences been with that? Have you guys ever faked confidence?
Every day.
Do you want to go first?
Yeah, I think I'll go since I have a better gauge of this. I think, well, first when Rakeem asked what confidence meant to Baze, I was thinking confidence is knowing who you are and, like, what you're good at and how do you value yourself. So it's sort of, to me, confidence goes in a way with, it's very direct and connected to self-esteem. And for a while, I know, like, I present sometimes, like, I'm very confident, and people tell me, like, you're so confident, or I wish I had your confidence. And every time someone says that to me, I'm a little shocked because I'm like, why are you saying that? That's not how I actually feel, but I guess I'm just faking it good sometimes. But
yeah, I've always read you as very confident.
Yeah, which is, I don't know what it is, but maybe I think sometimes posture has a lot to do with it. Sometimes confident people walk taller, and I'm just a naturally tall person, so people just think I'm confident. I take up a lot of space, but like inside, I still feel like that little gay scene boy kid who was like really awkward and like had a weird haircut and braces and glasses, and like I don't know. I still feel like that sometimes.
Yeah.
Or like, so really recently, Rakeem had took some photos of him and I and our friend Yvonne for Pride, and it was for body positivity, and I had to like really one of the first questions was like, wait, do we have to be shirtless? You know, like the whole point was for body positivity, and I'm like, oh, I gotta like sort of fake this confidence right now. But so it really, I mean, Rakeem helped me a lot, so did Yvonne, but just like I think I was always comparing myself, and like what you were saying earlier, like you don't have to walk into a room and compare yourself to other people. I think what I had to learn like instantly in those few minutes was just like, it's okay. Who I am is okay. And this is it. Like, this is what I'm going to get. Like, this is who I am. I can't really do too much to change it, and I'm just going to have to accept who I am. And I think it's a learning process, like self-esteem and confidence. I'm like, you know, X amount of years old, and I'm still learning how to be a confident person every day. And
come through, X.
Even like whatever sense of insecurity I have, I sort of have to fake it sometimes because I don't want people to like, it's a weird feeling when people know that you're a little insecure sometimes, when they ask if you're okay, or like checking in, or like thinking that you don't know something, you know. So I don't know where it's getting at. What was the second part of the question?
How far is too far in faking it?
Oh yeah. I mean, I was gonna go when you were telling that story about that person that you were talking to about, you know, listing their accomplishments. Like, I feel like, I don't know if this is just LA specifically, but I feel like I meet a lot of people out here who just love to name drop. Like, I know so-and-so, or I worked with so-and-so's people. One time I went on a date with this guy who was like, I know Beyonce, and I know her people. And,
wait, who?
I don't want to say right now.
Oh, well, bitch, tell us about that after the show, because actually I would be name-dropping Beyonce, too, if I knew her.
Like, bitch,
no.
I'll date
and this person was like, I've seen, you know, this tour, like, this many times because I know her people, and I just get free stuff. And I'm just like, why are you telling me this? Like, I didn't even bring her up. I don't know what happened, but...
Oh, that's not a good example, sis, because I would be doing the same thing. I'm sorry. I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
No, it just came off to me as like, and not just that situation, but, you know, other people are like, you know, I've worked with this person and I've done this, and I'm not here. They're like, you're not on an interview. You know, I don't really care. I just, and I think that's when the confidence goes too far, is when it becomes arrogant, and it shows a little bit of insecurity when you have to. You feel like you have to prove yourself, and like what we were saying earlier, I think when you're truly confident and you know yourself and you know what your value is and what you contribute, you don't have to, you know, bring out your scroll and like list a bunch of things. So I think that's when it goes a little too far.
Do you even feel like, though, at that point that it's even being confident in yourself, though? Because, like, if you're name dropping and doing this list, I don't even know if I would consider that confident. It's just kind of...
Well, part of it is the faking. That's what I mean. Because, often, you know, they tell you to fake it until you make it. So
it's like performative confidence.
Yeah.
Right.
But I don't think... Do you think there's anything wrong inherently with performative confidence?
No.
I think if... I just want to know why people in those situations feel like they have to do that. Like, what did I do to make you feel like you had to do that? You know, like, do you just go around and say that to everybody? Or, like, what... Do you know what I mean? Like, what made you... Like, something had triggered you to make sure, like, oh, I have to prove myself right now. And, like, all I'm trying to do is, like, have a ping-pong conversation. Let's just go back and forth. But I don't need you to, like, you know...
Right.
I don't know, score a point or right. You know what I mean?
But that's a really good point, though, John, because it's like when people do that kind of thing, it's clearly from this need to like feel like they want you to feel impressed with them. So the feeling of like needing to be impressed or the feeling of wanting to impress other people or wanting to feel accepted like comes from somewhere, right? So like that's a thing that happens. And so it's more so like why. So I don't inherently think that there's like it's a bad thing to be like to kind of like fake the confidence, but I think when it does get to that point when it's kind of like you know, you're kind of side-eyeing them a little bit, like this is coming off as really performative and weird, then you kind of have to like I always feel bad for those kind of people because it's like I know that there's something going on with you, you know. Well, I don't even mean it in a bad way. Like, there's something going on with you, or you feel a certain kind of way that you feel like you have to, you know, impress people to a certain extent. Like, I get it if you're like nervous and you know, you're going on a date or something like that. But in any other kind of situation, it's like I don't understand why it happens. You know. Mm-hmm. So. Yeah.
And I don't know. Maybe it's different for like QPOC kids growing up to find confidence faster or sooner than other folks. Like I think when growing up we weren't told to like believe in ourselves, right? Because there's so many things going against us. So I think sometimes like the development in confidence sort of is delayed a little bit because like we don't know, we have to find we have to be our own heroes sometimes, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Our own role models.
Well, I think that's like a good segue, John, because that's actually what I was going to talk about. Because I feel like with my kind of thoughts on confidence, it's definitely been a journey, right? Like I remember when I was younger, I didn't like that word didn't exist for me, like, and it was also really dependent on what other people told me, or what other people did, and how they reacted to me. So how confident I felt was based off of the reactions I got from other people. So I remember one day I was at like the summer camp at my aunt's house and we were playing dodgeball. And I remember I got picked last. And I got picked last like behind like the people that didn't do any kind of athletic sports, the people who like didn't like to do anything active, who just wanted to sit the fuck down and eat, like they like the people who didn't want anything to do with that. And I just remember thinking like, damn, like they don't like I don't mean anything. I remember my family always used to tell my cousins and my sister like, oh, well, you're going to be the one to get us out of the ghetto and you're going to be the one to do this, whatever. But like, I was never told that. And I remember being in choir when I was younger and having like a choir solo and then thinking I did a really good job and then having someone tell me that I fucked up. And like constantly throughout my whole life, like what I thought about myself was always based off of what other people kind of told me. And then specifically, I remember around high school, I started coming into my body a bit more, and I realized that I'm going to be a lot thicker than my friends were. And I remember thinking like, oh, like I don't look good compared to them, or I don't, or whatever. And I remember that like affecting me because they would like make these little jokes. Or I was at a birthday party where someone told me like, oh, well, he's gay or whatever. He's like acting gay or whatever. And I wasn't out at that time. And that like had me shook. And so, yeah. So all of these.
So you got the body thing, you got the gay thing.
And I'm dark. Like, so it's just all of this stuff. It was just like piling up. And that's why I straightened my hair beige. Because I thought that like I would do things like when I would take pictures, like I would fold my lips in so that it looked like I didn't have them, or whatever because I didn't.
Wow, white supremacy is a hell of a drug, making you not want to have lips.
It's a bitch. Oh God, I'm so grateful I have them. Like, but it's just
now,
like,
yeah.
The fact that I have a top and bottom lip, I'm blessed. I'm in the 1%. But it's like, it taught me to not love myself.
Did you
it taught
just
me
say
to,
1%?
Yes, I'm in the 1% of lip havers.
That was delayed. I just got that.
What else is new? Love you. So like that happened, and it was just like all this stuff like kept piling on and piling on and piling on and piling on. And I remember finally thinking like, damn, like, well, what do I have that's like good going on for me? And that's kind of where photography came in, and that like I had something that was mine that I worked at really hard to really kind of like to build up to where I was at the time. And I remember I started to really kind of base myself confident. I remember my sister told me something that changed my life, and it's really fucking dumb. But she said, bitch, how are you going to let someone else change your self-esteem? It's the esteem of your motherfucking self. And as simple as that was, when she said that, I was shook. Because I was like, she's right. I've never thought about self-esteem in a way that was kind of about what I thought about myself. It was always based off of what other people told me I was or wasn't, right? So, like, when that happened, I don't know, something in, like, my atmosphere changed. And then I was just like, oh, you know what? Like, she's right. And from there, I really just started basing my self-esteem off of things that I knew I was good at, or like work ethic, or things that I wanted to do. And my therapist would always ask me like, well, do you feel like you're a bad person? And I'm like, no, not at all. She goes, okay, well, that's something to be proud of. Like, and so now I would say I'm actually pretty confident in where I'm at and who I am as a person, because I don't necessarily base how I feel about myself based off of one day that I'm having. Like, it's not like I wake up one day and I might not feel the greatest, but I'm able to look in the mirror and be like, okay, well, I've done this, I've been able to accomplish this, I've been able to do this. I know I'm not a shitty person, and I try to do the right thing. And I'm not going to be for everybody, and that's fine, but I'm here for myself. And and like
I need to get like that, sis.
But I can like
write a book.
I can genuinely say that and mean it, because it's literally like, I know I'm not going to be I'm not going to be for everyone. Not everyone is going to think I'm attractive. Not everyone is going to want to be my friend. Not everyone is going to want to date me. Like, some people might not want to be in my life or whatever. And some people haven't. But like, I'm at a point now where it's like, I don't feel the need to base like how I feel about myself based off of what other people think, because I know what I can do, and I know what I offer, and I know what I bring to the table, and I know what I have done. And not even just about like things that I've done. I know who I am on the inside. So I don't necessarily care about someone telling me that I'm this, or that, because I know what I am to myself. And I've worked very, very hard to do that, and I don't mind or care about saying that I've worked hard to do it. And because I think sometimes too, like, when we get to that place, we don't want to say that like I've done the work or I'm this place, because we don't want to come off as arrogant. But to me, at my last therapy session that I just had this past week, my therapist said, well, is being proud of yourself arrogance? And I said, it's not. Like, being proud of like what you've done for yourself, and being proud of the things that you've accomplished, especially as like a queer, dark-skinned Black person, like I'm proud of whatever I've been able to do, and I don't let anyone try to diminish that. And I've actually told guys recently, I have a rule now where if I talk to you and you don't try to meet me within 2 weeks, that's it. I don't care. Like, and I've been like following those rules, and it's just like, it feels so good to just really be like, you know what? Like, I'm this person, and I'm okay with being this person, and that's cool. And I don't know how to explain it, but like, the only thing I can really think of is in Flawless, when Beyonce's like, and you can say what you want, I'm the shit, I want everyone to feel like, you know, like, that's kind of, I'm actually kind of like smiling and being really corny saying this, because it just feels so good to just know that, like, at the end of the day, that like you just know who you are, and you're okay with that, and you won't compromise for anybody. And that's what I really want everyone to feel, because, and I might not feel like that next week, but like right now, it's just
because it fluctuates.
It fluctuates for sure, but like that's also part of it too. Like knowing that you're gonna have bad days and not everything's gonna be like a high, but still knowing that on your lowest days, like you're not, even though you may feel low, like you're not worthless. And like that's the thing. Like allow yourself to feel those things. And confidence is also like the ability to say, I'm not always gonna be on. Like, you know. Yeah. Like if you have a bad day and you say this is a shitty day, like you're allowed to have those things. You're not like, it's not always walking into the room and being like, I'm the baddest bitch. Like you can be hurt. That's why I thought Lemonade was so great, because it was like, she's like, I'm hurt. Like you hurt me. You've done these things to me, but do not ever get it twisted. I am that bitch. I may feel like this, but at the end of the day, I will get back in formation. And that's what was so inspiring about it. Because it's like no matter what was happening or no matter how you felt, you knew at the end of the day that like you're still secure in yourself and you know who you are. So sorry, that was like a rant, but
no, that was shit. You took us to church, sis.
Sorry, no, it's just honestly, I feel so good about just like the work that I've been doing in therapy and stuff like that. I don't know, but
well, I'm inspired. So I want to get there.
So that was actually, I was gonna segue into how, like, what are some things you guys do or to improve your confidence that you can, like, you know, for folks who like don't have as much confidence. What sort of advice would you give?
Well, for me, this past weekend, one of the things was kind of what Rakeem just said, which was just acknowledging myself and my feelings more so, and affirming them myself, I guess. Self-affirming. I don't know. Because this past weekend especially, like, I just found myself constantly, like, you know, just tired and like over it and not wanting to be around people and like, oh my God, I can't do this, and I wish I was more social, and I wish I was more this or that. And then just being surrounded in the middle of a room, surrounded by people, and just having like this confidence that came out of, like, I don't even know where it comes from. Yeah. And I think part of it was just, I just have moments where I just relax and I just accept how I just accept myself, I guess, is the best way to describe it. And it's the same thing that happened at that dinner, the black tie dinner, which is that I was like stressing and I was not talking to anyone. And the more I stressed, the more quiet I became. And then I got to a point where I just was like, I'm going to just talk to that person. And just, you know, there's something they said that I'm curious about. And I asked them the question. And before I knew it, I was like having conversations with like 3 or 4 different people. And so, I think my thing is when I panic or like when I like stress about things, it makes it significantly worse. So like if I'm not feeling good about something, the worst thing that I can do is start stressing out. The best thing I can do is calm down, breathe, and just accept it. Like if I'm feeling awkward and I don't have anything to say, just accept that I don't have anything to say. And then, you know, sometimes what ends up happening is I find that when I have found that peace, in my mind, I finally have something to say.
Yeah. Once you've accepted it, right? You just feel better.
So that's something that I'm trying to use in the future.
That's good.
What about you, John?
So one of the things that makes me feel really insecure is when I start comparing myself to other people who are doing sort of what I'm doing but better, you know. And so that makes me feel insecure. So I think, you know, like I said, you know, confidence and self-esteem and security sort of go hand in hand. So like one of the things I used to feel really insecure about is when I compared myself to a lot of people in my family, like my mom and my brother. And so we're all in like the medical field, and some of us, you know, some of us became doctors, some of us became nurse practitioners. My mom's an ER nurse, my brother's a cardiac telemetry nurse, and I'm over here like not on the floor. And I used to feel really insecure about that. But then what I was saying earlier, what I've learned is that confidence is knowing your value, knowing what you contribute, and also to me is knowing that my journey is different from everyone else's.
Mm-hmm.
So like, even though I'm not an ER nurse, I still feel like I'm a good enough nurse to be where I'm at, and I've accomplished, some really good things to be where I'm at. And so I've just stopped comparing myself to them and just accepting that we're just different, And so I feel more confident in that sense because like their journey is different from mine, and I like that it's different,
Yeah, because everyone's not the same, and like what you're doing is not what someone else has done, and like what you've done in your life. Yeah, exactly. Two things I've done, and I think this maybe applies specifically to like, I guess, body image or like appearance kind of thing, is the first thing I did was I deleted every single person off of Instagram that I was like thirst following or whatever.
Ooh.
That was off of every single social media platform, not because they were doing anything bad. It was just because unless you're at a place where you feel secure in yourself, looking at that stuff is not going to help you become secure in yourself, because you're always going to compare, like always.
I'm so glad you said that. I've been doing the same thing lately.
Yeah, and it's just like, because also too, I've talked with my therapist a lot about this too, where she would just say like, well, what do they do that you think makes them better than you? And when she asked you the question out loud, like, it seemed really silly, because it was like, you've done this as a person, you're not a bad person, so like, why do you feel that way? And so one thing I did was delete that, and another thing that I did was really cliche, but like, my therapist suggested that I do this is, I would have two things. One is, I would have a journal, and she would tell me that for an hour every day, I'm supposed to sit and think the most negative things about myself that I can think of, and just write it down. So the nastiest stuff that I can think about, just like write it down for like an hour. And then,
oh my God.
And then the next day, like read it out loud to yourself. And then kind of like read it out loud to yourself, and then see how you feel about that. And then write something positive for every negative thing that you wrote. And then what I would do was like look at the negative things, and a lot of the negative things that I would write weren't necessarily things that were even like true when comparing them to other people. Or I mean, if I wasn't comparing them to other people. So like a lot of the things that were negative were things that I only thought were negative because I was comparing myself to someone else. But like if I left it alone by itself, it wasn't a bad thing. And then the third thing that I did was, as dumb as this is, I would do this a few times where I would just like get naked and then just stand in front of my mirror and just like force myself to look at myself and be like, bitch, this is how you look, and it's sickening. And like,
aww.
No, but really, I would do that, and then I would photograph myself when I didn't feel good about myself, because it's just like, that's why I think that I know that.
Wow, that's like the exact opposite of what other people do.
Oh, well, I force myself to do that because I think that like at the end of the day, like when it comes to body positivity and stuff like that, like I feel like I'm not interested in like ever portraying people or myself in a way that we always look our best, because we don't always look our best, and not always like being, I guess I'm more interested in not being on all the time. Like I'm like, you can look like and work out and do all that stuff and like look a certain way and try to achieve a certain thing, but also we have to be careful we have to remember to love ourselves on the journey to get to the destination too. And sometimes like there's not a destination. Like I'm really kind of finding a lot of like confidence in the ability to love myself on the journey to get to where I'm trying to go. So if I'm trying to get from A to Z, like I can still love myself from like B to Y too, you know? So it's, like that's where I think you really kind of, and then sometimes like you don't even need to get to Z, because you could be happy at like S and be like, okay, bitch, I'm the shit. Like, you know? And and it's not even feeling like, oh, I'm better than you or whatever. It's literally like, I don't know how to describe the feeling, but it's literally just being like, I don't know how to describe it. It's just one of the most like comforting things. Just like waking up and just feeling like, damn, I don't feel the need to like to compare myself to these people online or whatever. I don't know. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah. I was gonna add to that. With my writing is something I'm deeply insecure about, and I find that, this is like not. I find that just forcing myself to write has been one of those things where I stop constantly to like do research, or like, oh my God, I have to do this and I have to figure out this, and like this doesn't make sense. And I think with my writing, one of the things that's been really helping me to stay on track with it has been, that's fine. You can just make a note of it. This is the first draft. You're gonna have to rewrite it anyway. You're gonna have to go back and do it all over anyway. Like, so it's fine to just make notes, write what you need to write there, and then just continue on with the story that you're trying to tell.
Nobody gets it right the first time.
Yeah, but I want to. I'm just like, I just want to write this once and then be done and have a New York Times bestseller. But that's not how that works. And one thing that's been really affirming for me is talking to other writers. You know, I won't name drop, but I had dinner with someone who signed a very lucrative deal, book deal, and they are a very well known author. And I was talking to them about like the amount of words that they read a day, and it occurred to me that like while I was having this conversation that like this impossible, not necessarily impossible, but I've been setting this extremely high standard for myself that like a lot of people who write for a living, who make money off of this, you know, don't live by. And so I think the idea that you need to, what you kind of were saying, which what I'm really piggybacking off of is the idea that you need to be a certain place before you can accomplish a certain thing, or you can feel a certain way about it, is something that I think that it hinders a lot of people, and it hindered me a lot and still does. And it's something I'm still trying to combat and trying to feel comfortable with the fact that, you know, this is where I'm at ability wise. This is where I'm at inspiration wise. This is what I'm capable of doing right now. And as long as I'm doing my best, that's, you know, that's all that really matters. Sorry.
No. I
Don't
fully
be
agree.
sorry.
I fully agree.
Yeah. So, okay. Well, John, did you have anything?
No, I think it was good.
Okay.
The last thing I want to say is, I just want to be happy.
Wait, I do want to say something about that really quickly too, because I think that we constantly put this pressure on ourselves to be happy, but being happy is an emotion, and it is not a state of being. You're not always going to be happy. So. Oh. Okay. Sorry, I just that occurred to me as like the pressure, the putting pressure on yourself to be happy about the things about life, like in general, all the time is like an unrealistic standard that I think that
it's
people
just not
chase.
realistic.
It's not like it's an emotion. You're gonna feel happy sometimes. Sometimes you're gonna be sad. Sometimes you're gonna be angry, and that's always gonna be the case. No matter how much money you have, no matter how far you are in your career, there's always gonna be something that is not the greatest thing to ever happen to you at that moment. There's always gonna be those downsides. There's always gonna be those low moments. So
true. But
sorry,
it's okay. My sister always says, that's true, but I'd rather be unhappy in Cabo San Lucas. So I'm like,
true. This is true. You know, I'd rather be unhappy at the top of the New York Times bestsellers list, right, in my apartment in Paris with my man who I would be a power couple with.
Exactly. Okay, yeah. So I guess we're gonna cut it there, and then we'll go to mail of color.
I think Trump's called it the cut tax. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and do that. Oh my
god. Okay, we're gonna. Okay, bye.
right, y'all. We back with Mel of Color. Oh, okay, damn. Sorry, the picture just popped up of the porn star who maybe killed his boyfriend or was kidnapped. Sorry. There was a story we were talking about in the break about some guy named Ali Liam who maybe stabbed his boyfriend. But, you know, back to the listeners. It's time to read your emails to us. And, you know, me being who I am, being the bad bitch that I am, that I was born to be, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to read them for you.
Wow, there's confidence.
Listen, you know what I mean? I'm faking it. I'm
Confidence,
faking it until I make it, bitch. You know? Girl, why am I so ill prepared today? Oh, Jesus, my mind is not here. Yo.
Let's say a prayer. Let's say a prayer. Father God,
yes.
Let's bow our heads in prayer. Father God, we come before you today with closed eyes and open hearts, Lord, to lift up Bays and what?
No, I'm telling you to keep going, girl. Yes.
Yeah, we come up with closed eyes and open hearts to lift up Bays and his spirit, Lord, and you know we're just asking him that he can get through these letters. Oh, shana la 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 la. Oh, shana la 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 la.
Okay. So our first email. I'm here. I'm queer. Get used to it. That's not what they said. Thank you guys for sharing your stories about sexual assault on last week's episode. I assume if you read this, it'll be next week, LOL. Sorry, that was like 2 weeks ago. It's always hard to describe your experiences, and I thought it was super brave of you guys to share your stories. Also, here are some honey roasts. John, the sound of your voice is super calming, and you could easily voice romantic audiobooks. Awesome, still laughing at the letter for #iconic. Bays, shout out to your taste, interest in fashion. I'm here for it, but IDK if I'm here for those accents. But you know what? I'm here for them. Okay, thank you.
What? Because you're what?
Because I'm what?
Confident.
Sickening. And confident. Thank you. Confident with a what? A capital C, bitch. I'm just joking. We love you. Rakeem, as a fellow photographer, I'm constantly inspired by your work, and I always listen out for Rakeem's rants. Oh, well, girl, you're going to be good and ready and happy tonight, or tomorrow, on the show, because they're always funny, yet insightful. Renee, I'm also an Azalea fan, and I just wanted to let you know that you're not alone. Also, I love hearing your perspective on issues.
But he's not here.
You're not.
I feel like they're mostly similar to mine. Sorry this was really long. It really wasn't. I love you guys. You're amazing and an awesome part of my week. Insert you're doing amazing, sweetie gif. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Did you peep how they said, hey, big head, after I said to send us a hey, big head? We love people who not only listen, but listen. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
People that don't just hear us, but
you know what
listen.
I mean? But hear us. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know you feel what we feeling. From Paloma, she's writing back. She said, hi, POC. Thank you so much for the constructive advice from my last email. I'd also like to add that I'm a fellow Cancer and I stay on my antics just like Renee. I wanted to write in about the topic of STIs. I just went to my first STI test at my university doctor, and I'll be getting the results in a few days. I went alone and in secret because my parents don't know I'm sexually active. I know I shouldn't be ashamed, but I was extremely ashamed to tell the truth about the number of partners I've been with in the past year and that I had unprotected sex on many occasions that I lied to the doctor. Now I'm nervous about getting the results, even though I'm sure I'm fine. Personally, condoms cause me a lot of irritation and discomfort during sex, but now I just feel extremely ashamed of myself for not being safe. I feel alone in my circumstances because I don't have any family or friends to talk to who wouldn't judge me. I can only imagine how hard it is for queer men, sex workers, etc., constantly feeling what I'm feeling right now and being blamed for it. I just wanted to find some peace of mind because I've been losing sleep over what my status is. But now I feel even worse. Thank you for taking the time for reading this. I'm not really sure what I'm asking for in this, but I just wanted to share my current experience in case there are any other listeners going through something similar and choosing not to get tested because it seems easier to ignore it. I'm proud of myself for going to this test, and I don't regret it. I needed to reflect on how reckless I have been sexually. Thank you, Paloma. Thoughts, opinions? John, Nurse Betty?
Well, this is like a long subject, but there's a lot of stigma when it comes to STIs and getting tested, and unfortunately that's just how it is right now. But it's so common. Like, people don't talk about it, but like almost everyone I know has had an STI before, and the majority of them are treatable. If this specifically is referring to like something chronic like HIV, that's different. That's another, like, that's a whole discourse I want to talk about.
Yeah.
One day. But long story short, HIV is not what it used to be either. It's manageable as long as people take their medication every day and they get to what's called an undetectable level. And if you're undetectable, then you're untransmittable, which is not a lot. Like, people don't know that either. But I don't know what I was.
It's okay, girl. We all blank. I'm blanking today
go.
too. I feel you.
Go for it.
Well,
Ricky.
one, I wanted to say thank you so much for writing that in, and that takes a lot of like courage to write that in. And don't feel alone. I've been in a very, very, very similar position to you before. And don't ever feel ashamed about getting tested and knowing your status and that kind of thing. Like, the people that are there should be trained to like not shame you or make you feel a certain way. Also, if you have unprotected sex, like, I don't want to advocate for it, but like, it happens, and like, you shouldn't shame yourself for that. Like, you're an adult and you made a decision, and that's okay. Like, you're not a terrible person for it. You're not a shitty person for it. There are tons of people, like, I've done it. Like, everyone on the show has done it. So, like, don't feel.
Damn, she just outed all of it. Shoot, okay, thank you.
Oh, girl. Okay,
wow.
let's not lie.
First of all,
okay.
First of all, I'm a virgin.
Bitch. Okay. Let's not. Everyone. Okay. Almost, I can guarantee you almost everyone that has listened to the show has had unprotected sex. Like, it happens. So, I wouldn't freak out too much about that. I will say, though, be sure you do try to get tested, though, because the not getting tested because you don't want to know, that's like a real thing because you don't want to deal with it. But that can also have like real life consequences. Not only just for you, but for the partners that you're, sleeping with. So I would just say, like, be safe about it, but please don't feel like you're doing something wrong, especially because, like, did they say that they identify as a woman, that they're, is the pronoun she?
I believe.
I was gonna say as a woman, but I don't want to.
So, but let's not just assume. Let's just. She says Latina.
Like,
Latina. So I don't know.
Okay, because I feel like in the first email maybe they said something different, but for like women, it's something. It's like completely different because like with body count and stuff like that. Like, I know so many straight men are like, oh my god, yo, you're a hoe. Like, I don't know why, but so many straight men like want their girlfriends to be virgins, but then also want them to know how to fuck like Trina, like, at the same time, and it's so fucking weird to me. So just do you, like. And if anyone gives you shit for that, dump them. Like, don't fuck with them. That's my advice. If someone gives you shit about body count or about getting tested or whatever, don't be with them because they're not worth it.
And I also want to touch on the word safe. I think there's lots of different ways to be safe other than using a condom. If you get tested every 3 months, which I encourage anyone who's sexually active to do, that's a form of being safe, is just knowing your statuses in general. I would recommend folks to get on PrEP. That's also a personal decision. There's a lot of things to weigh in with that, but that's a form of being safe as well. And so we don't like to shame anyone here, as like Rakeem said, and neither should your healthcare providers. Using a condom isn't the only way to be safe. There's other ways to be sexually active while being safe. And there's no... you shouldn't have to feel like dirty or consider it reckless, if as long as you're doing the right steps. So getting tested is the first step, and I'm really proud of you for doing that, and just to continue to keep doing that.
The only thing I'll ever shame anyone for is for recording themselves barking and then putting subtitles on it, being a white gay, asking someone to go to an event.
God.
I would shame you for that. But other than that.
Wow.
Oh my God.
This kink shaming. I can't.
Bitch, you saw the video.
Yeah, I don't think I really have anything to add that you guys didn't cover. I just, I think, to be honest, I don't want to diminish how serious STIs can be, but I think the idea that people are dirty is just you wouldn't call somebody dirty for catching a cold, when you know what I mean. And
exactly.
It's just things happen, and you can catch a lot of things a lot of different ways, and I just think it's just to be responsible for your own health is just the most important thing. I think the shame and the association with being dirty is unnecessary and kind of antiquated, to be honest.
I'm so glad you brought that up, Baze, because when people say dirty, that's assuming that someone with HIV or any other STD is not clean. You could just rephrase that as to being STD free or negative, but you don't have to.
You don't have to call yourself clean because you're not.
Yeah,
you don't have anything.
Right.
When people first
clean for now.
When I first started going on apps and people asked me that, I'd be like, "Yeah, I just showered." And they're like, "That's not." I'm like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah, I fleeted.
I'm good.
She's clean.
Well, and I think that's going to be the letters for this week.
Yes. Please write more in. We need more.
Wow, Baze, that sounded so sad.
We need more letters. Please, if you're out there, ET phone home.
For one letter a day.
He said, please write more in.
Yes, for just one letter a gay.
One letter a
for
gay.
Just one letter a gay. You can save a life.
One letter a gape.
A gape? Oh, God. Anyway, so does anyone have anything coming up? Does anyone want to talk about something that they just did?
Oh, yes. Okay, so I cannot pronounce your name for the life of me, but you know who you are. I went to, and I was posting all about it on Instagram and Twitter. I went to the Fate Stay Night Heavensfield North American premiere. And it was fucking amazing. And it's if you're a Fate Stay Night fan, it was everything. Although I'm sure I was the only gay person there other than the listener, because it was I went in there and it was literally exactly what you would think it is, not to be stereotypical, but that's what it was. It was so many people in hooded jackets and cargo shorts and then Metallica t-shirts. And I remember I was sitting next to someone and they were talking about the lore of the series and they were fucking arguing and they're like, no, bitch, that's incorrect. And I looked over and I said, actually, you're both wrong. But I was ooh. But I want to say thank you for that. And then I feel something else happened this week that I need to say thank you for. Oh, I want to say thank you to Lockwood 51, the clothing company, for sending me those joke straps and the Stay Queer as Fuck underwear and some other things that I've been posting some pictures of on Instagram. And yeah. What about you?
I went to Palm Springs Pride this past weekend, and I actually ran into a listener, so that was cool. And then I also ran into Meatball from Unbearable. Hi, Meatball.
With Big Dipper and Meatball.
Yeah. So that was cute. So shout out to them.
Bass?
I'm going to be Renee and just stay quiet because I signed an NDA this week. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know. I was in Texas. I was in San Antonio. But yeah, I was there to support my man while he schmoozed and interacted with other authors. So I don't really have anything coming
Shut the fuck up.
that I can. Yeah, no, I'm good. That's it.
Okay. Well, so that's gonna wrap up this episode. You can send any kind of questions or honey roast that you might have to podcastofcolor@gmail.com. You can find us on Twitter at Trash of Color, and you can find us everywhere else at Podcast of Color. Again, there's an episode every Tuesday. Our Patreon is patreon.com/Podcast of Color. And the show is on iTunes, SoundCloud, Google Play, Stitcher, and iTunes. So thank you guys again for listening. And lastly, if you want, we would really appreciate it if you guys can put a comment and rating on iTunes. That would be great for us. It helps people. It makes the show more visible. Mm-hmm. So we'd really, really appreciate that. So thank you so much. So
and just do and if you're just not really feeling like it, just do it for little Bussy Mae McKenna from Tallahassee, Georgia. If you just be a little sweetheart, please.
You're a mess. So
Girl,
we're gonna go.
I'm tired. I'm
okay,
sick
so
and
let's
tired
go
of
then.
being sick and tired.
Oh, girl. Okay, we're gonna go, and I have to give bass therapy.